The world of data analytics is absolutely booming. But let's be honest, it can be super confusing. Is it all just a bunch of spreadsheets and code? Well, today, we're going to decode the entire data field, breaking down the key roles, the skills you actually need, and the path you can take to build an amazing career. So, let's dive in. First off, why is everyone talking about this? Well, just look at this number. Projections show that jobs for data scientists are set to grow by a massive 34% in the next decade. I mean, that's not just growth, that is an explosion in demand. Companies in literally every industry are hunting for people who can turn raw data into smart decisions. But all that demand leads to a ton of confusion, right? You hear these titles thrown around all the time: data analyst, data scientist, quant, and they all kind of sound the same, but their day-to-day work can be worlds apart. This is the big problem we're going to solve today. By the end of this, you are going to have a crystal clear map of the analytics world and a much better idea of where you might belong. Okay, so before we start drawing lines between these different roles, we need to talk about what unites them. Every single data professional, no matter what their fancy title is, starts with the same foundational toolkit. And that toolkit is really split into two critical categories. On one side, you've got the hard skills, the programming languages and software that let you actually work with data. And on the other, you've got the soft skills, the human element of communication and critical thinking. And trust me, you absolutely need both to succeed. Now, these soft skills, this is what separates a good analyst from a truly great one. Think about it like this. An analyst at a streaming service doesn't just show a chart that says a new show is popular. No way. They build a compelling story around why it's connecting with a certain audience. And that story influences a multi-million-dollar decision to make more shows like it. At the end of the day, data is useless if you can't tell a story with it. It's about being curious, asking the right questions, and seeing the big picture. And here are the actual tools of the trade. SQL, you'll hear it called SQL. That's the universal language for pulling data out of databases. Then you've got R and Python, which are these powerful languages you use to clean, analyze, and even model that data. And tools like Tableau or PowerBI, well, those are your digital paintbrushes. They help you create those powerful visual stories we were just talking about. Okay, now that we have our toolkit all packed, let's start mapping out the landscape. We're going to use a simple but really powerful framework to figure out where each of these roles fits. So, what's the core difference between all these analyst roles? It really boils down to one question. Are you looking inward or are you looking outward? Some analysts focus internally, using company data, stuff like sales figures or customer behavior, to make the business run better and more efficiently. Others focus externally, looking at market trends and what competitors are doing to help the company figure out its next big strategic move. This one idea is the compass for our entire map. So, with that framework in mind, let's open up our field guide and take a closer look at these different analyst species in their natural habitats. Let's start with the most specialized of all, the quant. Seriously, these are the rocket scientists of the financial industry. They use incredibly complex math to build models that try to predict market movements and manage billions of dollars in risk. It's a super high-stakes, high-reward role you'll almost only find on Wall Street. And wow, this slide really brings it all together. Just notice the clear differences. A data analyst is often focused on operational efficiency, and you can get started with a bachelor's degree. A data scientist levels up to predictive modeling and AI, and that usually requires a master's or PhD. The quant goes even deeper, using skills like stochastic calculus, which is basically the advanced math of randomness. And then you have the policy analyst, using similar tools but to tackle big societal problems. The focus, the industry, and especially the education level, they all shift pretty dramatically for each role. Okay, we've mapped out the roles. Now for the part I know you've been waiting for: what does the career path and the paycheck actually look like? And the opportunity isn't just for data scientists. The demand is broad. Take operations research analysts. These are folks who specialize in making complex systems run better. Their job growth is projected at a huge 23%. So the main takeaway here is that the demand for smart, analytical minds is strong across the entire field. And all that demand translates directly to your salary. A data analyst starts with a really strong average salary, but as you can see, as you specialize and add more advanced skills like predictive modeling, the numbers climb significantly. Quants and data scientists, with their advanced degrees and mastery of complex stuff, command a serious premium on the market. It's also a field with a really clear growth trajectory. This chart shows a steady, consistent climb in salary as you gain experience. You start at a solid entry-level wage, and with each year you build your skills and prove your value, your paycheck consistently goes up. This is a career that truly rewards expertise. So if you're feeling inspired, what's the game plan? Well, it's a clear 5-step process. You start with a foundational education. Then you build those core technical skills. But listen, the most critical steps are 3 and 4, working on projects and building a portfolio. Don't just learn the tools, use them. Go download a public data set, something on city bike rentals or movie ratings, and analyze it. Try to find a cool, unique insight. That project becomes the centerpiece of your portfolio, and it proves to employers you can actually do the work. That's what lands you your first job. All right, we've covered the map, the money, and the path forward. Now let's bring it all back to you. Based on everything we've talked about, which one of these roles really speaks to your own passions and interests? Do you get a thrill from the stock market? Does the idea of using complex math to predict financial trends and guide huge investment decisions actually excite you? If the answer is yes, then the specialized, intense path of a quantitative analyst just might be your calling. Or maybe you're more of a builder and a puzzle solver. Do you love the clean logic of code and the challenge of digging through a messy dataset to find that one hidden pattern that makes a business run smarter? This points directly toward a career as a data analyst or, with more advanced study, a data scientist. Or maybe your motivation isn't about profit, but about purpose. Are you driven by the idea of using data to fight disease, improve public policy, or make our society safer? If that's you, then a role as a policy analyst or a healthcare analyst could be an incredibly rewarding path. Ultimately, every single one of these roles comes down to this one powerful idea. The data is out there. It's just waiting. A career in analysis isn't just about finding answers. It's about having the curiosity and the courage to ask powerful questions. The only thing left to decide is, which questions will you be the one to ask?